like science.
I like science.
I like science.
All right, here we are. Kind of a
It's a time.
late record because I had to
Science.
wash dishes if we wanted dinner because we were running out of plates. And we
Yeah.
weren't going to be recording a podcast with the dishwasher going on in the background, so
No, that would be bad.
kind of pushed our record time a little
Yeah.
later.
It's
But
fine. It's not like we edit.
yeah, it's not by much. Also, I didn't want
So,
to go right into recording after watching the episode, even though we
yeah.
could have.
Yeah, we've done that before and we've not done that. So it's
Yep.
really just whatever floats your boat. So
What starship are you on? Because it's awfully dark.
I'm on Voyager. I'm on
Oh, that
Voyager's
is
bridge.
Voyager.
Yeah.
Okay, is it like Red Alert or something? Because
No, no, no. This
uh,
is how it looks when you don't have lights shining on people on the set.
oh, okay,
It's a very
yeah,
dark bridge.
I guess so. It is quite dark. They have very gray halls too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're back to Voyager again, season 7, episode 5.
5, yes. Critical
Critical
care.
care.
Critical care,
Sexy
which is
cat.
God damn it.
Critical care. I'm a sexy cat.
Dave did that while we were watching it, and now I can't unhear it. I'm
Well, it's
always gonna
just
think of that.
the cuss sounds. Just
Yeah,
very funny to me. Critical care.
critical care. It's got
Just
three k.
makes me think of Abed's impression of Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sexy cat. Is he the worst actor? He's the best actor. He's both at the same time.
He truly is. And he's gonna be reprising his role as Spider-Man Noir in an
Yeah,
upcoming live action series that will be on Prime, actually.
yeah, that's very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
not.
it is.
Yeah, I imagine they're gonna lean more onto the detective noir stuff and less on action because Cage is getting up in age. So,
Well, I don't know. I did see a shot of him on top of a car. Granted, the car wasn't
ah,
moving,
right.
but it was just they were just filming him getting on top of the car. So, yeah. But
Yeah, kind of funny how it keeps falling into these roles, like being in Kick-Ass, where he's basically doing his Adam West impression. A
yeah.
very, very violent Adam West.
Honestly, I did not like Kick-Ass, and I had forgotten that Nicolas Cage was in it.
Well, yeah, as the writer of Kick-Ass, I could see why you would not get on with that.
Yeah, it
It's a
just
certain kind of perspective that's very bro-y.
yeah, it wasn't my thing at all.
Yeah.
Didn't enjoy it. Didn't enjoy it. Enjoy
Oh,
Aaron Taylor Johnson very much. Because that guy can fucking do anything.
mm.
But I did not like Kick-Ass.
Yeah, I liked Hit Girl, and I
Wasn't
liked
that
Nick
Chloe
Cage's
Moretz?
performance. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Kind of a breakthrough role in
Hmm.
Kick-Ass. But
She was
yes,
still pretty young.
yes, and offending a lot of people by being very sweary and very violent. But that's the
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you don't know the characters, um, and don't understand their motivations and don't understand the source material, then yeah,
Yep.
you might get offended. It wasn't that I was offended. I just didn't care, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's kind of up
So
there with like Scott Pilgrim. It's like I can see why people might like it, but it's not gonna appeal to me.
it has so many guys in it that I like, but I'm like, no, I can't sit
Yeah.
through this just for that.
Well, also that the director changed the ending because of somebody tweeting something. It's like
For fuck's
that
sake.
just shows that you're not serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Why do
you
that?
don't change the ending to your movie on a whim unless that's already something you've been considering.
Yeah.
So,
So this has been our diatribe on movies that we didn't like.
yeah, just a little get to know us sesh, I guess, like a
Yeah.
lot of podcasts have, rather than getting right into the episode.
Yeah. Um, indeed. What was I going to say? Damn it.
Something about the episode?
No,
Critical care?
no. God damn it, Dave.
Okay, roll for initiative. What'd you get? Critical care. So, no, that would be a medicine check, wouldn't it? All right, you're playing a cleric, roll medicine check. Okay, I got a critical care. All right. He's suffering from the bite. The bite? Yes, the bite. bite hasn't been around for eons. Well, it seems to be back. Is this some kind of magical disease pretending to be the bite? Some hag put on them? Sorry. Brandy has been giggly. We watched a bad lip reading about Empire Strikes Back and it set her off, so I think she's still in a giggly mood.
Oh, you're fucking funny, Dave.
Uh, yeah.
Oh,
Critical
ooh,
care. It's just fun to say.
I know. Oh my God. Okay. Whoa. So you were wary about this because you think all of season seven is shit, but obviously it isn't because this was a good episode.
Yeah, it starts right in media res too, man, because we don't see the setup of the Doctor being hologram napped or hologram trafficked. Just
Mm-hmm.
just see his mobile emitter being sold off to this weird mining world with this floating platform above this city that looked like it was on the edge of some kind of ocean,
Mm,
but it was on an asteroid, which was a little confusing.
mm-hmm.
It's like how many asteroids have oceans? I don't know. It's kind of
I don't know. Well,
it's yeah,
if you think about it, most asteroids were larger um bodies in the whatever solar system that they're in,
right.
and getting colliding with something, would cause that mass to get smaller. So, because
Right.
basically the moon is an asteroid because except it was a reverse asteroid because a comet hit the planet and shot up a bunch of stuff into the outer rim of everything. It just sat there in orbit for a while and then it just kind of coalesced into another sphere.
Yeah, it's tricky because the words have meaning. So a moon is a moon, an asteroid is an asteroid, and the the moons around Mars in particular, they're not spherical like our moon because they're too small.
Mm-hmm.
So have like misshapen asteroid-like shapes, but they're still moons because they orbit a planet. Now, if the asteroid is orbiting a star, then it's more of an asteroid.
Fair.
So, yeah, so I guess they're on an asteroid which isn't large enough to be considered a planet or even a dwarf planet.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it has water is still odd to me.
My guess is that it probably was something bigger and there was maybe something catastrophic that happened
Right.
because the air quality was also just complete shit.
Well, I think that just comes off from them being this weird mining planet, and it seems like they mine for another like species, another
Mm-hmm.
galactic race is the impression I get.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're a mining colony on this asteroid with this rather bureaucratic system of society. It's a meritocracy, but a kind of a shitty one.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the thing that confuses me about what this place actually is. Because, we've got what's happening, we got all the stuff that's happening with basically the peons, the
Right.
the working people,
Yep.
etc. And then you've got the people on blue level who are all just, basically it's like getting Botox treatments. That's basically what the blue level is making
Yeah.
sure that they look good and that they keep their youth and all that. That's what
Hmm.
it seems like.
Yeah, there's an
So
elite class and then there's an underclass, and there doesn't seem like there's a whole lot in between.
no, there isn't really. And it's weird to me that if this is a mining facility, why is there an elite class there?
Yeah, and why is the working class so disposable?
Yeah,
If it's a mining colony, you want your workers healthy so it can continue producing.
yeah.
But,
So that
yeah.
there are aspects of it that confused me. I didn't really understand why things were the way they were.
I saw it for the metaphor that it is,
Yeah,
but for the system itself, it's messed up. And of course, the doctor realizes this, and the whole point of the episode is the doctor trying to adjust and fix and recalibrate their healthcare system because it's shitty.
Mm-hmm.
It's, it keeps saying, this is our society, survives because of this allocator and that we offer the best health care and this is the best system. And we kept saying to the television, is it?
Yeah. Is it?
It's like anytime they bring up something, we'd be like, is it?
Is
But
it?
but is it really? You keep saying it is, but is it?
Is it? Yeah.
Is this
No.
really how your society survives? Because it seems really convenient for a certain class of people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some kind of gray areas as to how the allocator was created and who created it
Yeah.
and
But
how it
basically,
saved their society. And yeah, it just seems all too convenient for a certain class of people.
well, see, that's the thing. It's basically, what I was thinking about at the same time is AI, because that's what the
Yes.
allocator is.
Hmm.
The allocator is a machine. It's, alt huh, 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 huh.
You're gonna sneeze?
I'm just
Oh.
having problems with my mouth saying the words that I want to say. It's an
Oh.
artificial intelligence, is what I was trying to say.
Well,
And
it's weirdly prescient and weirdly reflective of our current healthcare system because there are
yeah.
AI programs that are denying claims
Hmm.
for health insurance because the AI will look through and say, "Hey, this is a pre-existing condition. This person doesn't meet these standards," and generally denying health care to the people who need it and who have paid for it because that's where their money goes is to this insurance company
Hmm.
who then have this system in place to deny as many people as they can without, causing too much of a kerfuffle and, drawing the eyes of, legal experts or whatever. And all the while paying their CEOs exorbitant amounts of money.
Hmm.
And in my opinion, healthcare should not be for profit. If
No,
you're dealing
yeah.
with human lives, it should be a national thing. It should be like the national health insurance that Canada and the UK has. And I know right now because of Brexit and this desire to privatize and to profit from healthcare, there's this push in England and the United Kingdom to move towards private healthcare, and it's a horrible system.
Hmm.
It bankrupts people, and you look at who gets bankrupted by healthcare, and America is on the top of that chart
Hmm.
because all our money's going to the CEOs of these health companies, these healthcare companies. They're all going to inflated cost for medication,
Hmm.
all these things that people were profiting from, which really, because the American taxpayer pays into these research grants and subsidies for creating medication. So really, technically, we should be considered shareholders because we're investing in the medicine that they're later going to give us, but they're going to charge us inflated costs to use it. Like the insulin is
Hmm.
ridiculous.
Hmm.
There's medication for AIDS now that'll be inflated prices, and it's a terrible system. The healthcare should be a national thing. It's
Yeah.
you're dealing with the lives of your citizens, and it's the role of government, in my opinion, to protect its citizens and to provide the best healthcare, the best welfare for its citizens, because otherwise, why is it there? And
Hmm.
why are you paying taxes into a system that's not going to assist you? And why are you
Yeah.
paying insurance premiums to a company that's just going to deny your claim and then take your money that you paid and just buy another yacht?
Yeah. Also, this whole thing about pre-existing conditions, fuck right
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. What uh, condition is not pre-existing? Is like
Yeah.
what just magically you come down with an illness? Is like there's genetic markers. There's all kinds of reasons why you might get sick.
Hmm.
Or you might
It's
have a
just
flare up of
frustrating.
something. It's like just the idea that they can just deny you because you've been sick before, so you become sick again and it'll deny you is just it's ludicrous.
It is.
And
It's a scam. It's all
yeah,
a scam.
this the whole red blue level divide is very much that. And
Hmm.
also when they brought this up, it reminds me of Rio de Janeiro because you see a really sharp contrast between the rich and the poor because you have these like shanty town, when you see the first Incredible Hulk movie, the not the Ang Lee Hulk movie, but the Edward Norton one
Hmm.
when he's in Brazil, he's practicing those breathing exercises with that jiu-jitsu maestra. And you see where he's living is that cramped space, all those kind of shoddy buildings all built really close together on the hill with all these winding roads between them. And then a little ways away from that, you see these luxurious like condominiums and hotels and mansions and stuff like that. And it's like right there in the same city, just right next to each other. And it this kind of reminded me of that, this sharp divide between the wealthy and the poor. And they called it TC, right? TC? Is
Yeah,
it
it was TC, which stands for treatment coefficient.
treatment coefficient? So an algorithm that suggests how important an individual is to their society. And they say it brings in all these different statistics, their profession, their skill set, all this stuff, but it doesn't take into account what they could be.
Hmm.
There's no potential there. And so it only looks at who they are currently, not who they can become. And so, when the doctor, being stolen and then sold off to this red level where there's constant trauma, it's like an emergency room. It's like triage almost. It's like a mash unit. They're always
Hmm.
rolling in people with some kind of virus, or there was an accident in the mine and they're bringing in people, with damaged legs and stuff like that. It's like they activate the doctor, and of course he does his signature, state the, was
He
state
state
that's
he got
the
as far as
it's
the it's like,
yeah,
oh,
please state the nature of the medical
medical
emergency.
emergency.
Right, that's it. I couldn't remember the phraseology, but then it came to me. But yeah, he's like, please state the, and he's like, what the? It just kind of looks around, and then he's like, medical emergency? And then, demands to be set free because, he was stolen property, but of
Yeah.
course
Well,
our little thief lies about it.
that was the cold
Yeah.
open, and then after it went to the cold open, went through that, then we got after the credits, we got back to the story. Yeah, this one it's actually really disgusting that this episode was like what, 25 years ago,
hmm And nothing's changed.
and
In
nothing has
fact, it's gotten
changed.
worse.
It's gotten worse. It's gotten
It's gotten
worse.
like progressively, like exponentially worse.
We haven't
As
learned anything.
yeah,
If anything, we've regressed.
uh it's like the whole healthcare industry has moved more towards profiteering or profiting off the injured and sick than it has with trying to heal them.
Hmm. And it's disturbing. This whole episode was just really disturbing and
Yeah, and it has
sad.
Dr. Giggles in it.
Yeah, Larry Drake. Good to see you, Larry.
Yeah, he's also, I believe, the bad guy in Darkman.
uh I don't
The
remember
yeah, I
seeing
think he was the
Darkman.
kind of the shady businessman gangster type in Darkman.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think he was on, if I remember right, it was one of those legal programs. I want to say it was LA Law, and
yeah,
he was like an assistant who had mental impairments.
yep. Which is a tricky line to
Hmm.
walk as an
It
actor.
is. It really,
It's
really
like if you're
is.
playing somebody who's, differently abled, then
Hmm.
yeah, that's a risky move. But generally, I like him, and he's good in this. He plays his typical villain thing, but he does have range as we see in other roles of his. But yeah, basically this administrator of this hospital, and he's the one that's kind of looking at the business side
Hmm.
of running the hospital and providing care. That this drug that could heal everybody who has this viral infection is instead being used as just this daily treatment to slow arterial aging. It's an unnecessary procedure. It's like Botox, like you said.
Hmm.
It's just there to keep people young and just,
Yeah.
it could serve much better being used to heal viral infections than what is used for anyway.
Well, and the thing that really just makes me shake my head is that what if all of those, let's call them lower deckers, what if all of those lower deckers die off? Who's going to do their work?
Well,
Nobody's thinking about
yeah,
that.
that's what I don't understand about certain economic views is this whole idea of taking everything from the poor and giving everything to the rich. Is like, what after that?
Mm-hmm.
And this disdain and contempt for the poor, who are the people that are doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
is like when you kill all of them off, what's left? What are all these CEOs? What are all these administrators, all these vice presidents, all these, you know, financial investors, all these bankers? What are they all going to do when there's no one to do the work? It's the Ayn Rand problem.
Yeah, I was just
So,
gonna
yeah,
say, for those of you who like video games, I recommend the video game BioShock. You can
right.
watch that play out in real time.
Yeah, Atlas Shrugged, when this industrialist creates this, I guess, idea of utopia where all the great investors and great CEOs and, all the big, wealthy, to-do, people go off to, what is it, Gans Gulch, I think it's called. Terrible name for a place, but anyhow, that somehow this society will thrive without anybody doing the work. They're not going to do their own work. And I think that was a particular fantasy of Ayn Rand, because you get
Hmm.
that in The Fountainhead, is the architect also being a construction worker. And that doesn't happen.
No,
The architect generally is not going to be the one there laying down the foundation. I mean, they can provide, tips and they can set things up, but they're not going to be doing the labor, I don't think. You
no,
think Frank Lloyd Wright was out there laying bricks?
nope.
I don't think so. That's what a mason does. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get this contempt for the poor, this idea that they're parasites when actually it's these executives that are leeching and
Hmm.
stealing wages. This
Yep.
was it. All profit is stolen wages.
Hmm.
Is the stuff that they should be paying the laborers for doing the work is going into the pockets of the owners of capital. I mean, don't want to sound too much like a socialist, but
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's kind of what's going on there.
yeah. What the thing is that socialist is now a weighted term when
Yeah.
all it really means is that, let's live in a community where everybody has the same amount of stuff, everybody gets taken care of,
Hmm.
everybody's on the same level, there's no one who's better than anyone else, and we all just live our lives. But no, no, they take that idea and they twist it and turn it into something to be feared, something disgusting.
Well, it's all that the family and muscular Christianity and the prosperity Bible, all this stuff that makes the oligarchy seem like they're the ones that should be running everything because somehow they're naturally better, when most of the time it's generational wealth,
Hmm.
that they haven't earned that income. They were born into it.
Yep.
And somehow being born into it, like sort of like in modern aristocracy, this plutocracy, is you're born into wealth and you find any manner in which you can keep or increase that wealth. And even economically speaking, if you talk to an economist, they say that for money to do anything, it has to circulate. You can't
Hmm.
hoard it. And it's like a system that takes all the gold from the villagers and gives it to the dragon just to sit on it like it's dragon hoard. It's not going anywhere. It's not doing anything. Trickle down is a myth. It's had what, 40 years since Reagan?
Yeah, it never works. Trickle down
Yeah.
never works because guess what? It's a trickle and it doesn't even trickle. There's no trickling.
Yeah, money goes up.
Hmm.
Money never goes down.
Mm-mm.
And so if you pay the working class more and they spend it, it still gets into the pockets of the rich.
Yeah.
And while it's doing that, it circulates, it improves people's lives, it improves their health, and the money still goes to the same place. And so why? Why just keep it? And it's something that's been brought up time and time again, is like the oligarchy don't understand the term enough.
Hmm.
There's never going to be enough money. They, as rich as they are now, because you look at the wage gap, it's insane.
Hmm.
The amount that certain CEOs get compared to what their entry level positions are. the gap is insane. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can pay
Nope.
your employees more, and that money will still get to you eventually. And all the while, it'll just improve society. And the very fact that they're spending the money means it's going to get to you. Ugh,
Yeah. Um,
ugh.
oligarchs are dumb.
Yeah.
Let's just say it. Let's lay it on the line. Oligarchs are dumb, they're selfish, and they're usually warped in some way.
Well, just like I say, it's generational wealth. They didn't have the moxie to be the ones that created that wealth in the first place.
Hmm.
They were born into it.
Yeah.
And I think one of our original founding fathers, I forget which one, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was John Adams, but one of them wanted no estates,
Hmm.
no passing down of wealth from down family lines, because that's how you get an aristocracy. Is
Yep.
like we don't want that kind of social class in the Americas, in the United States because generational wealth is just that. And it's the same situation we had with, the Civil War and stuff, is you had all this wealth built up from slavery, and that money never went to who actually did the work. In fact,
Mm.
a lot of slave owners were paid for the slaves they were released. So they just made more money in the long run for work they never did.
Disgusting.
Yeah. So it's a terrible system, and this weird allocator is kind of indicative of that same system. This because it's like artificial intelligence, and especially what's going on with X right now is Grok keeps being reprogrammed to say ridiculous things about white genocide and about denying the Holocaust and all kinds of weird shit because it's now just a propaganda platform for fascism. But artificial intelligence has certain guide rails and certain, it's a vomiting machine or just a shitting machine. As you feed it stuff and it just shits it out. And it's the same with this allocator is whatever program, whatever algorithm it's using was programmed into it,
Hmm.
but by whom? And it's
Yeah.
programmed to find certain people more worthy than others without looking at, their contributions to society. Really, it's just what serves a certain, just a certain perspective of who's useful in society.
Hmm.
And it's just, you can, this episode is just,
Yeah.
it just brings up all these issues like the whole anti-DEI thing
Hmm.
is like this idea that diversity somehow worsens any kind of industry or any kind of department or any kind of unit whatsoever when studies show that it actually improves. That if you bring in diverse ideas, diverse backgrounds, different points of view, different ways of approaching a problem, that your company, your group, whatever group that is, will be stronger for it.
Hmm.
It's like the D&D thing, is if you have a party of all rogues, yeah, you can get certain places, but what happens when you need a healer?
Yep.
It's like a good party, a good D&D party is diverse. You have a little bit of fighters, you got a little bit of magic users, you got a rogue, you got a cleric, and that's a good team with diverse abilities that can approach different problems differently and get through a campaign. So, having an all bard party, they're jack of all trades, but if you need somebody to smite somebody, you have no paladin, so what are you going to do, Bards are all buffers. They don't have a tank in the party, so it's just ridiculous that. And when they're like taking books out of libraries and schools and stuff that showcase diversity and celebrate the victories and the achievements of Black, Brown, Asian, Pacific Islanders, women, all to make the white patriarchy look good because they cannot abide something that doesn't serve that myth of white Christian male superiority, which is a myth because the very books they're removing from shelves prove that's not the case.
Hmm.
Ugh, so annoyed.
Yeah. It's just back on the whole thing about AI. Logan's Run comes to mind.
Right.
And if you haven't seen that movie, you may or may not like it. It was very, late 60s, early 70s,
Yeah.
and I freaking love it because Michael York, love him. But it's basically they're these people are being killed off at a certain age so that there doesn't become an overpopulation. Now, this is actually on Earth in the future. You find that out at the end of the film. Spoiler alert. And but they have this whole thing like people who are they have a jewel in their hand and their jewel is clear when they're born and it gets darker and darker and darker until it's red, and when it's blinking red your time's up. And
Yep.
they have this macabre ritual called
It's something with a C.
carousel. It's
Carousel.
carousel.
Yeah.
And uh to renew, they get the chance to be renewed and keep living their lives or be born again or whatever. They don't ever make that clear. And it's not, everybody thinks all these people are getting renewed, and no, they're all being killed. And the whole thing behind it is an AI that even takes Logan and sends him out to find people who are hiding
Hmm.
away outside of the city in order to get them back and kill them
Yep.
eventually, if not immediately. And it's just, it's one of those things where it's just like you are biting the hand that feeds, but it's an AI and it doesn't feel. It just does what it's programmed to do.
Hmm.
Even if it were to become sentient, you really think it's going to suddenly have any sympathy for these people? No, no, the AI is just going to do whatever it wants to do.
There's a great, I believe it's The Simpsons because The Simpsons have done everything, but there's a great bit in a Simpsons episode, I believe, about the MTV spring break
Oh my God.
when they go to like a beach party and everybody's in bikinis and there's somebody who looks at their hand and they see the red jewel glowing
Oh my God.
and blinking because it indicates that they're too old to be there and they go running off and I guess a bunch of Sandmen come after them
That is
because
funny.
they're too old to be at spring break. Um, yeah, it's the there is no sanctuary.
There is no sex. Yeah. Anyway, if
There's
you've seen
Jenny
Logan Run, you
Agutter
know.
in
Yeah,
that.
Jenny
Yeah,
Agutter. Yep.
yeah, from American Werewolf in London. Yeah,
Yeah, that director was a dirty old man.
yeah, because she's like very naked in that movie.
Well, she isn't as much because the version of the movie that's available now has removed the sex scene removed,
Right,
which I know I saw
right,
because when I was a kid, and this was back in the early days of rental video things.
right.
My dad really wanted to see the movie and he was going to watch it with mom, and we were not going to be invited. And dad's like, no, let's just watch it. Cause I'm my
Yep.
father's daughter. I
Oh yeah,
love
sci-fi.
sci-fi. I love action, all those things. And so we're watching it and this sex scene happens. And it is there's so many, there's breasts, so much breasts, naked butts, etc. And my dad is just stone still. He's not moving. He's not breathing, it seems
Yep.
like. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I am obviously not supposed to see any of this because
Right.
I was like 8 at the
Yes.
time. And after everything is over and they're dressed again, my dad, without even looking at me, says, "Do not tell your mother we watched this."
Yep.
Didn't I didn't tell her for probably 40 years. I did tell
Wow.
her eventually a few years ago, and she laughed her ass off.
Yep.
Anyway, I digress. So AI, it sucks. Because
Yeah.
it can't approximate feelings. It can't be a substitute for a living, breathing entity that has its own original thoughts and is not programmed to react in a certain way because of a list of algorithms.
Yeah,
So
just a list of priorities that we're not sure who came up with them is,
yeah.
oh, this person is this kind of engineer. They have this kind of degree. They've had these many years of experience. Therefore, they're more valued than this person who hasn't had the opportunity to learn all that yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, but they could. And
Yeah.
what happens when you lose this person eventually? I mean, that's why you're de-aging them, I guess, is so you can keep them around for as long as possible. But why not train the younger people and just keep them alive?
Yeah.
It's you're having a resource that you're not replacing.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody to coming in to replace the people that you're going to lose because you're wasting all the younger people who aren't going to develop that experience because they're not going to get the same TC levels. So it's ridiculous. And of course, the doctor's wrestling with all this and coming, into conflict, this ethical conflict of his drive to save as many lives as possible while trying to undermine the system in which he's been placed.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, he's doing wonders in this red section, which is like for the very poor, the people with no TC. So they have limited resources. It's basically band-aids, that's all they can really offer anybody. There's no medication, there's no blood for transfusions. They don't have really anything.
Mm-mm.
So he's doing what he can there, and of course his skills get noticed by the allocator and he gets reassigned to
Yeah.
go up to the blue section, and there it's like a day spa,
It
It's
really is. It's gross.
it really seems like some place where you'd get like plastic surgery done. It's not like an ER or a triage center, like a
Mm-hmm.
free clinic or something like it is down below.
Yeah.
And one of the first patients he runs across is this young kid who has an interest in medicine and shows some early skills regarding, he knows what he's suffering from for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, this is what I have. And he's like, well, that's a good diagnosis because that's what it certainly seems to be. But he also had some other issues too, like this viral infection that would kill him without these injections.
Yeah. His name was Tebus.
Tebis,
Yep.
R12 was his patient name.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Oh, should
he
we
was
talk about our
adorable.
thief at all? Or do you
Uh,
want to go on Tebis still?
Gar can fuck off and die.
Yeah.
Um, I
His,
hope I hope that they let him suffer at
yeah.
the end of the episode, which we'll talk about. But yeah, that
Well, we
that
get
guy
the
was an
impression that,
asshole.
yeah, that Neelix given him that wormwood meal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that they'd let him suffer with that for a little while anyway. His makeup was interesting because it reminded me of the live action Grinch
Yes.
combined with something from Cats the musical.
Yes.
It was somewhere in
Agreed.
between those two things. And he had this kind of Cheshire grin, the shit-eating grin that he had on his face a lot of the times, especially when he realized that his weird plans were coming to fruition, like that he was going to be able to sell the doctor. Just kind of this wry smile on his face, like, aha, up, you got a cat.
I do. Want to say hi?
Meow. There he is. You purring into the
Yeah.
microphone, bud?
Gonna purr for me? He's like, no.
No. He's sitting right on your lap. Up there he
Okay.
goes.
Yeah, he wants to
He's
be
getting on
away.
the bed. All right.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's a cat interruption.
Yep.
And now you want to leave? You just got here. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Go. Go then. Go.
Okay, go. Great band.
Love them. They're 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 great. Like you
I
said.
predict a riot. Isn't that one of theirs?
No, no, that is
Or
not.
is that somebody else's?
That is
Who is that? That's Kaiser Chiefs?
yes,
Kaiser
Kaiser
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Right.
Yeah. They have a lot of songs. Okay, go. But
Uh,
anyway,
the house
uh
always wins. I think that might be okay, go.
yeah. Where were we?
Talking about okay, go. No, we
Tebus.
were talking about Tevis, and we
Yeah.
were also talking about Gar.
Gar, and basically Swindler, obviously.
Mhm.
So,
Though, yeah, while all this is taking place, we have the Voyager crew looking for him
mhm.
because they're great bit with Paris and Kim coming back from a hockey game in their gold lame hockey outfits. It's like, is this hockey the musical? Where are you guys coming from?
Why are your jerseys so big? They are so big.
Yeah, they were super puffy. They were like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man coming
Yeah,
back from the holodeck.
It was weird,
It's
man. It
like, are
was
you
weird.
both goalies? What's going on here? Because it's
Yeah, because
those,
that would make sense. But see,
ugh,
even the goalies have most of their gear on over their their
yeah.
uniform. So it's just like
I,
just
they,
made no sense.
they were so blousy and just
It was so
flowy. It's like, what are you
terrible.
wearing? You guys look like you're in the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. It's just, God, except like disco edition.
Yeah, so bad.
And then Kim got high sticked, so they're going to the sick bay to have it looked at, and of course go in, and there's the doctor and state the nature of your medical emergency. While he's like setting up all his different medical instruments, and
Yeah.
turns and looks at him again, state the nature of your medical emergency because he's caught in a loop, and
Mm-hmm.
also just take an analgesic and see me in 24 hours.
Yep.
It must have been what he said to everybody that came in there. Like, did he
What
just give you
was
an aspirin to tell you to fuck off? Yeah, yeah, same here.
Yeah, it was a very old it was an old save file is
Yep,
basically what it
yeah.
was.
It's like clipping a video from, for something for YouTube. It's like just take 10 seconds and just replay it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they instantly know it's not the doctor, and they go to their conference room and give Tuvok shit for being the worst security chief ever.
Seriously, Tuvok, come
It's how
on.
many episodes are we going to come across where he just overlooks every little thing?
Oh my God,
What does he even do on that ship?
you're a fucking Vulcan. How can you have
Does he do
just
anything on that ship?
I don't know.
It's like
I'm really
everything gets past him. Everything.
just so bad. I
Has he
mean,
ever spotted anything that was
I
a
think
security violation?
maybe I would have to go through the entire series again. But the fact that this is happening in the final season of the
Yeah.
show is like, are you just bored, Tuvok? Are you bored and you're tired and
Mhm.
you just want to go home and you just don't give any fucks anymore?
Yeah,
What
like
is
when
it?
Chakotay left the ship and Tuvok was like, what? He did? It's like, yeah, aren't you supposed to be looking at that kind of thing? And somebody just takes a shuttle and fucks off, and it's like, you're just
Yeah.
gonna, he's terrible. Why is he so bad at this? And this is season 7. You think he'd learn by now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's just kind of, I assume, complete responsibility. He's like, we're not going to be laying down faults, Janeway says. And then says, but even so, you might want to look into how
Mm-hmm.
you run things around here. It's like, this is season 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God,
Wow.
what are
The
you
fact that
doing?
basically Gar is a snake oil salesman.
Yeah, yep,
And you couldn't figure that out?
yeah. Uh,
Wow.
This,
Just wow.
Neelix is a little pissed off because he's under the impression that uh, he fed something that disagreed with Gar, and that's why Gar went to the sick bay and then realized the doctor was a hologram and he could steal him. But then it's like Neelix was like, was he faking that the whole time? I don't know, because he was complaining that the food wasn't spicy enough. So
No, he was complaining. Yeah, he was complaining
that
that
was
the
too
food was too
bland.
bland,
Uh-huh.
and then he used Leelix used some spices. And honestly, I think that Gar was just playing Neelix. I think that he
Uh-huh.
was just giving himself any reason to go to sick bay because chances are there's already a rumor going around the Delta Quadrant about
Yep.
Voyager and their holographic doctor.
Right.
So he's a hot commodity, so to speak.
Hmm.
That's what I'm going with.
So they follow the warp trail to what's basically a decoy that's giving off a false warp signal. And then Tuvok actually does something sort of useful. It's like, oh, we can follow the doctor's ion signature. And so they do that for a little while. And so they keep backtracking through all the different people that Gar has cheated,
Mm-hmm.
including this guy who got totally cucked by Gar.
Yeah.
And then they go back to this dude's wife, and she's like, "Hey, you might be interested in him too. So how do I'm not going to tell you where he is because I don't want you stealing him from him, which is a great moment because Janeway reaches a hand back and grabs Tuvok's. He's like, I'm not looking for Gar because I already have a man. And you just see this look from Tuvok like, okay, we're doing this, I guess.
Well, really, did he have any what's the word I'm looking for here? He didn't have any way to get out of that after being the worst security officer ever.
No, it's like, well, it's a ploy too. And, being, our security chief, he's like, yeah, I get it. I get what we're doing. Okay. I'm
Hmm.
gonna yes and this improv scene.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
I'm your husband.
Yeah.
And we're actually looking to make a business deal with him. So this will benefit him, which will mean benefit you, I guess, if you're still in this romantic relationship with him.
Mm, what a
But
weirdo.
yeah, just going through all these different aliens that Gar has cheated,
Hmm.
going back to the source, which they narrowed down to this asteroid, this mining facility.
Yeah, I did write down at one point Janeway's bored face in capital letters where
Oh
she's just
God, yeah.
I think that was when she was talking to the wife, if I remember
Hmm.
correctly.
Yeah,
And she's just like had it. She's done. She doesn't want to talk to one more fucking
yeah.
person.
Nope.
And just the look on her face, she's just like, oh my God, will this never end? And that was actually one of my favorite moments is her, oh my God,
Yeah,
not
she's just her
more.
eye roll and just kind of
Oh,
shaking her head to herself.
I love a Janeway eye roll.
Yep.
Love it. Because
Yeah,
captains are not
yeah.
known for their eye rolls. So,
Exasperated Janeway's one of the best. I
mhm.
mean, we've seen many eye rolls and face palms from Picard too.
Not as many eye rolls, but definitely face palms.
Yeah.
Because Picard is the captain, and
Yeah.
he's also perceived by some as kind of being stuffy, which he loosened up a lot over
Right.
the 7 years. Uh, but yeah, no one would every if Picard didn't eye roll, everybody would notice.
Nah.
So, but he only does that when he's alone, as
Exasperated sigh.
as evidenced
Long
in
suffering.
that fucking last episode we did. So,
Right. The
yeah,
price.
the price. The price is that I
The
spent
price.
my
Oh,
47 minutes watching this shit.
47.
47. It might have been 52 minutes. I don't know. They had a lot less commercials in those
Yeah,
days. But
very.
um anyway, so yeah, that whole thing, and we don't actually really see him getting rescued, and we don't need to, I don't think.
Well, we kind of do because they show up, they beam down with phasers ready, but they notice when they've uh locked on this asteroid and scanned it that they can't beam the doctor aboard because he's been connected to the allocator computer system.
Hmm.
And so basically he's operating as per the allocator's instructions. It says like you have these many minutes to treat this one person because he was caught bringing supplies from blue level to red level,
Yeah, reallocating. Yes.
reallocating as he puts it. It's not stealing, it's reallocating.
Well, it's really not, because it's not leaving the facility, is it?
No, it's just going to the people who need it more.
Yes.
It's, he's just reshuffling the deck, I guess. And there's another medical practitioner, a doctor on board that is kind of catching on to what he's doing a little bit. And he's like, okay, what are you doing? Is I see that you're requesting more than we need. And it's like, well, that's because if we don't, they're going to give us less next year. So I'm trying to keep the supplies coming,
Yeah,
which is
that
pretty wise. In a bureaucracy is like
mm,
if you're more efficient now, that means you're going to get less later because they're going to expect you to do more with less. And so why not request more? And that's how a lot of budgets work is, people end up spending more to get more later.
yeah. Dr. Disick was that guy's name, and he could
Disick.
have he could have been an unfeeling bastard, But
Well, he's played by an actor that often does play a baddie or a heavy or,
yeah,
kind of foil. And the fact here that he's kind of on the doctor's side, he wants to care for people, and the system just won't let him. And
yeah.
he's a skilled surgeon. Even the doctor says so, is like that medical, that procedure you did very well. So he's a talented surgeon, but he's just having his talents wasted on the elite class when
Mm-hmm.
his services could be much better directed down below to the people who need it more.
Yep.
And he
Yeah.
realizes that too, because the neat little shift, because knowing that he's hooked up to the system, uh, the doctor has someone come up, reassigned to come up and aid him because he managed to somehow get the allocator to
Yeah, it was
request
Voji.
his service. Yeah. And so, yeah, this healthcare provider guy
Voji.
from Red Level, yeah, Hoji, is it
Voji.
Voji, uh, to come up and assist him and just, manipulate with this weird little pen that you use for, your whatever iPad or whatever. Those
Stylus.
those weird little stylus pens and poking at his mobile emitter so he could, break free of this allocator system, jailbreak him
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yep.
And yeah, and as he's doing, there's when does he get encountered by the big bad, the Dr. Giggles guy? He's doing
Um,
something when he gets
that's Chelik,
interrupted.
Dr. Chelik.
Yeah,
Not Chelik, not Dr. Chelik. Chelik is the
because I
guy's name.
think he was about to get even more supplies and take them down to blue
Yeah.
level when Chelik confronts him, but then in a nice little kind of jujitsu type move, gets a like a wrist lock kind of thing on Chelik and then injects him with the virus combined with some cells from our all these names.
Tebis.
What was that again?
Tebis.
Tebus. Okay. Yeah, these names.
That's why I write them
Because
down.
yeah, Tebus, they realized what he was doing and denied him care, and he relapsed and I guess died.
He totally died.
And so he went to white level, which is the morgue.
Hmm.
But the doctor still had some cells, I guess, from, testing him or whatever. But yeah, he injects that into Chelik as well. So now the system identifies him as patient R12.
Mm.
And so he is constrained to red level, and our other doctor friend comes by, and he's like, "Hey, assist me, bring me back up to blue level, and give me that injection." I can't do that. It's against the rules. You're consigned to red level. I can't move you to blue level,
I love
trapping
how,
him in
I'm
his
sorry.
own
Yeah.
terrible system. So go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and the way that he says it, inside he is just laughing his
Hmm.
ass off
Yeah, because it's
because,
just desserts.
yeah, it is. It is just desserts. And that's the thing. It's like it's extreme what the doctor did, but it required something extreme
Mhm.
because otherwise this system was never going to get disrupted.
Nope, he had to upset the system. And later, in a great scene with him and Seven of Nine, and
Hmm.
those two, their chemistry is amazing together. As
Yes.
they play off each other so well as actors that, it's upsetting that they didn't pursue like a romance between the two of them. Because it
Agreed.
seemed like the direction they probably should have gone rather than the Chakotay situation.
The
Because
no
really,
one
it should be
likes
Chakotay, Janeway, and Seven and the Doctor.
Yeah,
I mean,
nobody liked the Chakotay 7 thing. Nobody.
yeah.
Nobody liked
That
it.
the doctor has Seven do a run full diagnostics on him to see if there's any kind of interruption in his subroutine or any kind of damage that happened while he was hooked up to the computer and stuff, and she finds nothing. There's nothing in there that would make him do something unethical, which tells me that it was not unethical, and that seems
Hmm.
to bother him. It's like, no, you did the right thing. It just didn't feel like the right thing, and it felt like you were, stealing and stuff like that. But it was a bad system, and the
Yeah.
thing you did saved lives. And you didn't actually kill the guy that, you injected. I mean, that was a kind of a shitty thing to do, but considering who he was, and even you knew that you would have to have him suffer in the same position as all the other people that he's made suffer for him to understand what that suffering is. Because
Agreed.
this is a guy who lacks empathy.
Completely and totally.
He's only looking at the big numbers, and he's only looking at the big numbers in the way that it serves, I guess, himself and his masters.
Yep.
It's like these, we were addressing before, it's like these healthcare companies that are looking at their investors and not their clients
Hmm.
and not the people that pay them money. They're looking at the people that are investing in the company, not the people who are paying the premiums.
Yeah, insurance is the biggest scam of the world
Yeah.
because that's what it is. It is a scam. You pay over the course of your life hundreds of thousands of dollars for care that you might need, only to not get that care
Mhm.
approved when you need it,
Yeah.
and et cetera ad
Because of
nauseum.
some weird decision that they're forcing people to make, or even just programming a computer to make because it saves them money.
Hmm.
It's your life. And so it's like they have blood on their hands because how many people die at the hands of denied claims
Yep.
for the care they pay for?
Hmm.
What are you paying for?
Agreed. That's why it's a scam.
Yeah, you should get the service for payments rendered.
Hmm.
And to have a system in place that can deny you that. I mean, imagine going to a restaurant and paying for food and then not getting it delivered because you're not hungry enough.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like
That's
that. It's so stupid.
hmm
It makes no sense. And why not have a national system like most countries do? It's where you pay a little bit more. You pay what you would pay for a private healthcare system, your private insurance, and pay that into more taxes and have all that nationalized.
Yep. But everybody's, that's the thing is people are so afraid of it because they don't understand it.
And there's all that. Well, what about all the people? What about all their jobs? It's like you've been firing people left and right for other things. Why not that? And it's like,
Mm,
let them move into something else financial because that's all it is at this moment.
yep.
They're not actually doing any of the actual care. And why can't you move them over into the administrative work for a nationalized service and have them do that work?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's just
uh,
and when you think about the Star Trek future and what Earth is like in that future, what do they have? Oh yeah. Yeah, they don't have money.
right.
They don't have money anymore. If they need health care, they just go and get it. If they need
Hmm.
food, they go and get it. They need a place to live, they go and get it because they don't have to worry about some overarching dictator who wants to keep all the money for themselves.
Yeah, a system based on greed cannot persist
Hmm.
because eventually that bubble's going to burst.
It will.
And you look at the happiest places on earth, and they tend to have a somewhat socialist approach. I mean, social democrat, but there is some socialized platforms. You're getting what your taxes pay for. It's coming
Hmm.
back to the people that pay taxes. It is taxation with representation.
Yep.
It's like you pay into a system and you get something back. You pay into your taxes, you get health care.
Yeah.
That's what Finland it even promises internet access.
Hmm.
That's like a human right.
And the continuing education, like at university level and above, is free.
Yeah, free education, internet access should be guaranteed. And Finland is rather frequently ranked one of the happiest places on earth,
Yep.
along with its neighbors like Norway and Sweden.
Hmm.
Denmark, I think, gets up there often.
Yep.
So yeah, all that kind of area. Yeah, it's wild. This is some episode, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
as Star Trek episodes go, that it's speculative fiction. You look at something that we have today and you just expand on it and see what the extremes of it is. And that's what we see here. We see our healthcare system at work of treating people who don't really need it while denying care to the ones that do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very frustrating because where does that money go? it just goes to rich people.
Mm.
It's not like if we at the end of our lives, oh, you didn't spend all of this healthcare money, we'll just give it back to you and you can distribute it among your family. Yeah, like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Isn't that really how it should be? I paid you for a service that you never performed, so I want that money back.
Yeah, get a rebate.
Yeah,
It's like, hey, all this stuff that you didn't spend on your healthcare, you get back.
yeah,
It's like, oh, that'd be great. And I don't mind, paying taxes into a healthcare system that would go to pay for somebody else's healthcare.
yeah.
Because that's the way the system should work. And
Agreed.
because it should happen that one day I need that healthcare too. I have that opportunity.
Hmm.
And it's all these people who are very ableist and
Yeah,
act like one day they won't be old and disabled and stuff. And so, why do I have to pay now for people who are disabled? It's like one day you might be.
yeah.
One day you might go blind. One day you might get in an accident. You don't know. You don't know what might happen to you one day. Hope the cat's back. So, what an episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't remember it by the title, but when I saw the opening scene, I'm like, "Oh," and I haven't seen that one in a long time. So, it was like seeing it all over, for the first time, but it obviously wasn't my first time. It's just been a long time. As I said the word time enough.
Time and time again.
Okay, do you have any other thoughts?
I think we talked the hell out of this one.
We really
Trying to
did.
think of something that we didn't address. Not a
I
Balana
was
in this one that I could see.
Oh no, Balana was there.
Okay.
She was like when they were catching up with the trail.
Right.
Balana was tasked to, get the doctor back, but yeah.
Right. So
So we
yeah, they
saw her
do beam
briefly.
down with phasers, and yeah, we don't really see him get rescued, but we see the after effects of him being rescued, and I
Yeah.
guess we get the final scene with the interrogation of Gar when Tuvok is threatening a mind meld,
Mm-hmm.
and then Neelix comes in to feed the prisoner that wormwood and
Yep.
gives him the gastral spasms.
Gastrointestinal distress.
Yeah.
I hope that his poop was just burning. I hope
Yeah.
it was the most uncomfortable evacuation of food that has ever happened to him.
So far, this has been one of the greatest Neelix moments, and just kind of
Agreed.
the delight that he takes
And
in
fucking this
causing
guy.
distress, and those noises of the growly belly is
Yeah,
those intestinal bubbles, because I've had that,
same.
and you get those weird bubblies in your colon basically spasming. It's like ugh, and
It
just
was
how
yeah.
Neelix would say gets worse.
Well, that's
That's
the thing.
about 40 hours, 30 hours, 40 somewhere around there.
Eh. And the
You'll
thing
live.
is that he wasn't even over the top about it because Neelix can
Yep.
get really excitable
Oh yeah.
and get kind of over the top. But this one was just very restrained. This
It
whole thing.
yeah, it was directed.
Yeah.
It was like concentrated. It was one of the more serious times we've seen him, and yeah, just
Yeah.
very pointedly causing this guy distress, and Tuvok pulling him to the side is like, should we really be torturing? It's like, and a mind meld isn't torture. So you were threatening a mind meld moments ago. It's like, well, you got me there. All right, we'll do it your way.
Again, Tuvok, worst security officer ever.
So it's not good.
I don't know that would have actually gone through with it,
Oh, seventh
threatening him.
season. Oh my God.
Yeah. Dude, what's going on?
We're gonna have to come across an episode where he actually does something. Because so far it's like, what are you even doing on the ship?
Ah, well, anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I
those are
love
our
Tim Russ and I
thoughts.
like the character a lot, but oof,
Yes. Yeah, but it's
the
not Tim Russ's fault.
the writing isn't doing him any favors, that's for sure.
No, no, no. I dare say that were he well, I do say because he was in season 3 of Picard for a bit. I dare say that if that episode had been created these days, he would have had a lot better uh lines, a lot better storyline
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. All right then. That was a lot, and I appreciate that this episode exists, and
Mhm.
it still applies these days.
Yeah, it applies more now than ever.
Cat, will you
It's
make up
just
your goddamn
poignant.
mind?
Oh, is he in
Jesus.
and out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway. All right then. Well, I guess we have to choose the next episode. Well, let
We
AI
have
choose the
to.
next
And I'm
episode.
not going to wish for anything in particular. I'm going to be open to whatever we get, even if it's Kelvin Universe stuff. Let's go for it. Whatever it is, bring it on.
All right. Let's get the list up. Excuse me. Sorry about the belch, guys. Okay. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 944. 468.
468. Does that put us in TNG area?
Let me
Deep
get
Space
there.
Nine area?
468. 468. I'm almost there. 460. 468 is Deep Space Nine,
Ah,
Children of Time. That is,
Children of Time.
yes, season 5, episode
Uh-huh.
22.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay then.
back to DS9.
Yeah. Oh, nice familiar crew. Should be fun.
Yep.
Unfamiliar title.
I know.
Late
That's the thing.
season five.
I'm not
Hmm.
good at titles.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it is when we see it, when we watch it.
Children of Time sounds like it might have something to do with the wormhole, but we'll see.
Possibly, I don't know. I don't remember. And please, guys, don't tell us, because just because we don't remember the episode from the title doesn't mean we don't know the episode, but we like to be surprised.
Oh
So,
yeah, it's fun going in and
and going, oh, this
sometimes
one.
watching it for the first time again in a way.
Except there's that one Deep Space Nine episode that I fucking swear if I ever see that one again.
Oh, I know the one you talk about. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Well, there's another one too that I'm not too keen on either. So yeah.
Oh, well, no, this one makes me so angry that I can't even watch it.
Oh yeah, it's the one with the people that eschew technology.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the one where Dax leaves for this guy on this planet at a phase. I'm
Yeah,
not
that
too keen on that one.
that it was Brigadoon and it sucked.
Yeah, I'm not
Also,
very fond of that
Brigadoon
one.
sucked. Brigadoon sucked. Sorry, guys. It's not a good Broadway play. It's weird. I don't like it.
Fair
And
enough.
all that Brigadoon shit can just fuck right off.
All right.
So sorry to
I
people who like Brigadoon, but that's just how I feel.
I have no horse in that race, so yeah.
Good for you, because a
Yep.
lot of the older musicals are really cringe now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they are.
Yeah. So even though some of the newer musicals are cringe, it's just like, and I said this to you the other day. Are we really okay with the musical Tootsie in this day and age?
Ugh, that's
Are we
rough.
okay with that? Because basically it's a man stealing a woman's job because he couldn't get a job as a man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's American Psycho, Carrie the musical.
Yeah, American Psycho the musical. What the fuck were you
Yeah.
thinking? Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark
I
was
was
better
about to
than that.
say SpongeBob's great though. SpongeBob musical, that
Oh
is worth
my
seeing.
God. If you haven't, even if you have no experience with SpongeBob, SpongeBob the musical is fucking amazing. It is
It's really
so
good.
great. It's
Yeah.
so great. I would watch that again. So yeah. And yeah. So there you go. That's what we're doing and stuff and things. So all that's left is to say goodbye, and we'll talk to you again 2 weeks hence.
Wow, we didn't do social media stuff.
Shit, go ahead. I forget it. Go ahead.
Well, should we just
Social
skip
media.
it this time and just say
Uh
bye now?
Now just one last thing. Thanks, Dan, for the use of your spreadsheet.
Yep.
Thanks, Patrick, for always being so cool. And thank you, Tim, for just being the nicest British guy that I've talked to online for quite some time. So
Oh,
there
wow.
we go.
That is
And
a tall
yeah,
compliment.
yeah. So
Yep.
there
Yeah,
we go.
we'll say goodbye then. We'll catch you with socials next time, I think.
Yeah, okay. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Snöskalla.